on a morning walk with Srila Prabhupada in Amsterdam, where we passed many sleeping hippies, and Prabhupada had his comments about them. Finally we arrived to a tree which had a nest where there was a little bird who was just about to fly. We all came around that nest. The bird was standing there and was a little doubtful, should he fly or should he not fly? We all were there, and Prabhupada encouraged him, and finally the bird came down. Not very elegantly, he more or less tumbled, but he had an idea how to hold his little wings. Prabhupada then turned around to us and said, how does the bird know how to fly? This was the cue for those who knew. Instinct, Prabhupada, said one who wanted to represent the modern scientists, and Prabhupada immediately felt arisen. That is just a name. They do not know. The Lord, Paramatma, is in the heart of the little bird and directing him to fly. So whatever Prabhupada saw, even a little bird who made his first flying excursion or flying attempt, Srila Prabhupada connected to Krishna, and that was very visible during the morning walks.
Now another time, I was in Prabhupada's room typing, and Prabhupada was doing something, so we weren't speaking. And it was a cloudy day, it was all gray, and suddenly the sun came out, and suddenly the room was filled with light. And Prabhupada said, when the spiritual sun comes out, it is like that.
And we got to the Juhu beach, which was a beautiful white sand beach, where Prabhupada liked to take his morning walk, and we're walking along, and Srila Prabhupada is looking out at the ocean. He said, what is that? What is that water? What is that ocean? You know, what is that water? And nobody said anything for a while, and I remember the first thought that popped in my head was, oh, it's Krishna's energy, but I was too shy to say anything, you know, so I didn't speak. Nobody spoke. Finally, somebody spoke up. Actually, it was my husband. He said, oh, Prabhupada, it's the Arabian Sea. And again, I don't know if he told this story. He's probably embarrassed to hear. Prabhupada, it's the Arabian Sea. And so, again, Prabhupada was already angry from the incident at the door, and he, again, lightning bolts shot out of his eye. You think your spiritual master is so nonsense he doesn't know that's the Arabian Sea? You think I don't know that's the Arabian Sea? You know, that obviously wasn't the answer he was looking for. And so then Satsarupa popped, oh, it's Krishna's energy. Yes. You know, and he gave the example of how the ocean waves just come up, instead of inundating the whole land and flooding everything, they just come up, you know, to a certain, how that's Krishna's arrangement, you know, how nature works under the laws of, you know, that Krishna establishes. And so that was the one morning walk I went on. It was very, very instructive. When Srila Prabhupada chastised, again, it was that experience where you felt bad, but it wasn't like the low self-esteem. You felt cleansed. You didn't feel bad. You felt like you learned a valuable lesson. You felt cleansed. Nothing with Srila Prabhupada ever made you feel bad about yourself. Or it was all growth and encouragement, whether he chastised or praised.
Sometimes he could chastise you. I mean, when Prabhupada would yell at you, your life air would leave your body. There was one time in Vrindavan in 76 or 77, I stayed over that winter, and I was dressing the small Radha Krishna deities, and then as soon as that was done, I would go and prepare the Vyasasan for Srila Prabhupada's Guru Puja. So I didn't know at the time, nobody ever told me that you shouldn't be completely bare-chested. All these devotees, nobody ever told me. I thought this is what you were supposed to do. So one day I was getting the altar ready, and I was going to do the arti that day. And Prabhupada came and he said to me, you should have something around your shoulders. So somebody gave me something. So I thought, well, this is because I'm going to do the arti. I got to wear something. So I did the arti, but the next day I wasn't going to do the arti, so I didn't bother putting anything on. And when Prabhupada came in, he said, I told you, you should always have a wrapper. You should listen and learn. And it took me days to recover from that. When Prabhupada would do that to you, your life air would leave your body. You know, it took me a long time to recover, to get my composure back. But still, I see this now as being very mild. You know, I see this as being very mild and compassionate, you know.
I was in Mayapur in 1976, and in those days there was just two buildings. There was the temple building, and then what we called the long building. Now they have names like Shankha, Padma, Gadda, and all these, but I still know them as the long building. So Prabhupada was going through for a walk around the grounds, and in those days, when I first came there were rooms along the boundary wall, and some of the devotees stayed there because the long building hadn't been finished. And as you came towards the Prasadam hall, they had some toilets that was used by the Bengalis. So Prabhupada's on a walk, and all the senior devotees are there, Bhavananda and Jayapataka, and he comes up, and this toilet, every time I passed that toilet, it was disgusting because there was stool everywhere. It was never clean. So Prabhupada sees this, and he says, "What is this? It's filthy." So then Bhavananda says, "Oh, this is not our toilet, Srila Prabhupada. This is the Bengali toilets they are using." So Prabhupada says, "Why is not clean? Why you are not cleaning? You're not cleaning because it does not disturb you. If you were in the mode of goodness, you could not tolerate this, and immediately you'd be clean. But you're in the mode of ignorance, and you're in harmony with this mode of ignorance, and that's why it stayed like this." So he immediately ordered it cleaned up. So, you know, he was explaining that if you're at the same guna, then you're in harmony with that guna. So if you're in the mode of ignorance, you come across something in the mode of ignorance, it doesn't disturb you, and it just stays like that. But if you're in the mode of goodness, then the mode of ignorance and passion, it disturbs you, and you can't tolerate that, and so you want to bring it to a higher level. So he was chastising devotees that they were in the mode of ignorance because they didn't clean up the stool. Didn't disturb them, and they left it like that.
Prabhupada's house in Vrindavan was a little different than it is now. Now there's a store when you go in, but there used to be just like a little entranceway, and then there was a double door that led into Prabhupada's living room. And Harikesh Maharaj was Prabhupada's secretary, and he was sitting in a little vestibule typing. And I was there talking to him one day, and Palika came. So Harikesh told her, "Palika, I want you to tell me everything that's going on." So she gave him all the things that were going on in Vrindavan that shouldn't be going on in Vrindavan, you know, this one and that one and this one and that one. And then she left, and Harikesh looked through the crack in between the two doors, and he saw Prabhupada walking away. He said, "Oh no," he said, "Prabhupada heard everything." And the next day, Prabhupada gave class. He said, "If you have illicit sex in Vrindavan, you will take birth as a monkey in Vrindavan. So that is Krishna's mercy because you have taken shelter of Vrindavan." He said, "But stop this monkey business."
So on this morning walk, there were these large gates, large, huge wooden doors at the entrance to the property that were closed at night. And it was after Mangalarti. Srila Prabhupada was going on his morning walk. We were trailing along with him, and he came to the wooden gates, and they were closed. And Srila Prabhupada was livid. He was so angry. "Why the gates are closed?" He said, "You think this Mangalarti is just for you? No, it is for all of them. Why? You must keep these gates open so the villagers, the nearby villagers, can come to Mangalarti." Oh, he was very, very angry, that we were so self-centered and thoughtless, that you think this Krishna consciousness, this Mangalarti is just for you. He was always teaching us to think of others, giving Krishna consciousness to others, And that way we would save ourselves. By trying to save others, we would save ourselves. But this being so concerned just for our own advancement and to hell with everybody, that wasn't Prabhupada's way.
Another time in Vrindavan, Prabhupada was complaining that he said, "You are offering the deities rotten flowers." And the flowers looked okay to us. Prabhupada said, you know, if you offer the deities rotten flowers, they will not say anything, but your life will be spoiled. And he talked about this many, many times, you know. And then one time they gave Prabhupada a garland that was bigger than the garland on Krishna, and Prabhupada made them exchange. They said, you cannot give me a garland that is bigger than the garland on Krishna.